He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Mika Reacting Reviews. We're reacting to things on the internet, and today we're going to be doing a non-musical reaction and something a little bit more serious. I actually got prompted and inspired to react to this video because I watched Night Talks, or Stevie Nights. He does reaction videos, and he also does he has a second channel where he talks about a bit more serious topics, and he reacted to this video. And I believe the rapper who is going to be on this podcast, or the podcast that I'm reacting to, is called Krayzie, and he is reading a letter off of someone else who was in the music industry or in hip-hop, and basically talking about how hip-hop was used to promote gangster culture or criminality to help fill up the prison systems. Anyway, I thought it was really an interesting topic, and because I react to music, I thought this would be something great and a conversation to have on my channel. But anyway, we're gonna get right into it. But before you do, if you like these type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you'd like to support the channel any further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. Just like, comment, subscribe. Another way to support the channel is you can either join my brand new membership program or my brand new Patreon. Different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here you go. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, I did edit this video down. Didn't edit it to lean into a bias or anything. I just cut out the parts that was just filler and only put in the parts that I kind of want to react to. But I'll put the link down below so you can look at the full video if you want. And if I forget, just remind me, just leave a comment and say, hey, you forgot the link, send a link, and I'll give it to you. As well as, this is my second time watching this video because I literally reacted to this whole thing, completely edited the entire video, and then deleted it. So that was annoying. But anyway, so if I'm feeling a little right now, just know that that's why. But I'm here, I'm listening, my mind's open, and hopefully maybe if the second time around I'll have more insight, but let's get into it.
The secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. Between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
Asked to sign the confidentiality agreement preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague who opened up the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him why was he involved with something so corrupt, and he replied, "Bigger in the music business and nothing we'd want to challenge without risking consequences." We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. "It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement." He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
Stopping it there. Whew. He said a lot, and I totally believe him. And this is not the first time this has been said. This has been said probably a lot. And I remember a lot in the 90s that this was a big topic, especially with parents going on talk shows talking about the destruction that rap music causes, the denigration of women and the criminality. And you know, it was a big hoopla, but like it just kind of fell on deaf ears because the younger generation never gives a fuck about what the older generation is saying. You know, this has been said about music, this has been said about movies, film, television shows. Like so many people have come out, actors, comedians have come out and tried to like warn people like this shit is meant to like basically either shift the culture, shift the perspective, shift the values, or you know, shift mentality or shift society. If you don't think that the media has any effect on culture, you are extremely naive. Like whoever controls the media controls not only culture, society, controls belief systems, values, perspectives, mentality, ideas, ideology, relationships, the way people move. Like it really does have a big influence, not on everybody, but on in general, it really does. And so when hip hop first came out, I believe, what was it, like the 70s or something, but when it first came out, like it was very much about speaking about culture. It was about speaking about the system, the society, community. It was speaking truth to power. It was just speaking about the struggle of the black community or people who just live in that environment. And then all of a sudden, I feel like in the 80s, 90s, it just did this 180 and completely was all about gangster rap, gangster culture, being a gangbanger, selling drugs, shoot 'em up, drive by, you know, baby mama, single mama, like, you know what I mean? And sort of romanticizing it, and it really did affect a generation. In fact, multiple generations. And not only did it affect a generation when it comes to filling the prison, it affected our culture, like black culture. It's not no surprise that there's a lot of toxic things that's considered being black, right? Of course, there's amazing things and positive things that is connected to the black community, but there's a lot of toxic things, like, again, being a gangbanger, being gang banging, sagging your pants, walking with a limp, you know, talking Ebonics, not talking proper English is considered being black. Being hood, being ghetto, being a chicken head, considered black. Being a baby mama, being a side chick is considered black. Struggling, strong black, you know, strong single mama is considered being black. You know what I mean? So many things is considered like these toxic things that aren't healthy. For some reason, black people kind of hold on to it as is, this is black culture. And I do feel like not only did the gangster rap influence black culture when it comes to criminality and from the prison system, and it shifted our culture, but it made black culture toxic almost in a way. And not only did it affect black culture, eventually it affected a lot of other cultures, a lot of other communities in America, society, period, blank point in the period, right? Because, like, yeah, baby mama, side chick, single parenthood is all kind of, it really fucked up the black community. It started like fucking us up sooner, but it trickled out to a lot of other communities. The single parenthood in the white community is not growing, right? People complain on feminism as well, but I think it started like this sort of romanticization of single mother and baby mama and side chick and stuff like that. Even if you look at reality TV shows like Love and HipHop and all the other shows that's like that, they promote, a lot of the people in those reality TV shows is a part of hip-hop, right? They're a part of the rap community, the music industry, and they also promote baby mama and side chick, and, you know, just toxicity, struggle love is considered being black. You know what I mean? Black people telling other people that they have to be with other black people because they understand your trauma. So black people got to be with each other because of trauma bonding. Like, that's not healthy. So it's like, I really do think it affected the culture, period, and it trickled out and affected American society, right? It's great that there are some people in that meeting that decided they didn't want to be a part of that and walked out, but so many people do not walk out. So many people will take the bag and take the opportunity and take the power and take, you know, pushing their career up the ladder than doing the right thing. In some way, you can understand it. If he's saying in a meeting, the guy was like, look, it's out of my hand, it's bigger than us. It's like, why should I not take the opportunity? Why should I not, you know, fill my pockets and take care of my family? Because if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it, right? But too many people are willing to do that because no one else is willing to just do what's right, you know, do the right thing. Okay, but anyway, let's get back into it.
Damn. And this person later on, he said, you know, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. A few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Okay.
And he said he just, like, you know, over the years, he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back and he watched these plans come to a reality
over 2 decades,
he sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
They really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their music.
No positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and put out.
So if you wonder where Brand Nubians went, where Pro Righteous Teachers went, where Public Enemy went, where KRS-One went, and all sorts of groups like that was talking, even Queen Latifah and Moni Love and those, you know,
everybody.
What I'm saying? It's a back door.
Yeah, anything that was harmless, fun rap, you know, anything that had a message in it had to go. Now, after reading all this, you know, it actually made me feel a few different ways. The first emotion I felt was shocked, because I was definitely taken back by this, just knowing the level of evil that's involved by even thinking of a plan like this. You know what I'm saying? The second emotion I felt was anger. Anger because it's not enough for them to exploit our culture and make all the money off of it. Mm-hmm. Because let's keep it real, the industry has never been favorable towards the artists. Never. But they're going to go beyond the artists to get the artist to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities.
Yep.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid twice. They're getting paid from the artists they signing, and then they're getting paid from the the people that these artists influence that goes to prison trying to be like these artists.
Yeah.
They're using the music business to promote their private prison business.
Stopping it there. Yes, you go after the youth because that's the smart business move. It only takes, what they say, it only takes a generation or two, a generation or a generation and a half to completely change your culture. You're not going to go after the adults that have lived experience and a bit of wisdom to tell you to fuck off. You're going to go after the youth, especially when they're teens, preteens, because they're easily influenced. And it's just the nature of a young person not to listen to the older generation, because every young person is always going to think they're more smarter, more evolved, better people, more progressive, more moral than the older generation. So they're never going to listen to you. They're always going to be like, shut up, boomer, because that's just the nature of teenagers. That's just the nature of youth. This is how they are. So you have someone who's not going to listen to the wisdom and is also easily influenced. And so it's like the perfect combination. Everyone does that. Every totalitarian or dictator or anything who wanted to spread propaganda, they go through the youth because that's just the better business move to do. And I feel like before, yeah, it was like gangster culture, and I think that's still promoted in hip hop, but now I think it's like this overtly sexualization of men and women, and also this feminization of men, that is, you see the influence that it has in culture in America general, but also in Black culture, right? And I feel like it's going back to that sort of like the crumbling of two-parent home system and traditional homes and the foundation of family. Because if you get a bunch of men in prison, and it was other things that had caused that, you know, the true crime bills and the crack epidemic, all those things that tucked men out of the homes and into prison. It was the welfare system. And then you know, right now, again, 70% of the Black community is single parent, single mothers are running the household, and then you overtly sexualize everybody and make it seem cool to sleep around and have baby mamas and do B-side chicks, further destroying the family unit, further destroying the two-parent system, further destroying that foundation. And when you don't have strong men in the home, we don't have two-parent homes and all the negative consequences that the data and statistics have showed when it comes to kids being raised by single parents. Boy, more people in prison. I mean, if you look at the data, who's in prison? A lot of them were raised by one parent. A lot of them didn't have fathers. And then you have more people relying on the government. You have more people, their ideology, and then the government becomes their family, becomes their ideology, instead of looking towards the patriarch or the matriarch of the family. Like, it's just like a whole fucking thing. And of course, like the studio, the music industry doesn't give a fuck about their artists. Like, again, how many artists have come out and talked about how they got screwed over when it comes to contracts, when it comes to getting all their money stolen, when it comes to sexual abuse. It has been said over and over and over again. Again, most people will be invested for a second and then not give really a fuck after that, because people just want to listen to music and not give a shit, right? Same thing when it comes to the movie industry, the film industry. If you don't know, I used to live in LA. I was an actress, like Z-list, so don't ask. But the little bit I saw, the little baby toe that I had in the door, it's fucked up, it's dark, it's messed up. And if you think that the Me Too, Lean In, Time's Up movement did anything, if you think the arrest of Bill Cosby and the other producer guy and all these things, like, if you think that did anything, if you think that scratched the surface of stopping the disgustingness that goes on in Hollywood, again, you are naive. Because not only are there enough people on the higher ups are willing to do those things, there's a lot of people that's willing to participate in those things to get to what they want. There are people who will go in Hollywood, get into the music industry, and be like, I will literally fuck everybody, sell my soul, and kill my mama if it means that I can get what I want. Even if 100 people don't want to participate in that, there's always going to be the next person, the next crowd that's going to willing to do that. So it's such a hard thing to break. And the only thing you can really do is focus on yourself as an individual. You educate yourself, you come up with the knowledge and the tools that you need to pass it down to your community, your children, your people around you, and then hopefully when your children grow up, then they can pass it down, and it's like a trickle down effect and a ripple out effect. But trying to like change the minds of the masses, I feel like that's just a lose-lose. The only thing you can do is hopefully gain the knowledge, pass it down, and hopefully eventually it influences the culture eventually. I don't know. But anyway, let's continue.
Then I felt sad. Sad because everything we seem to try to create we always seem to give it away. We're always being tricked and deceived into believing that they have our best interests at hand when clearly they never have and they never will. They never will have our best interests at hand. It's blow after blow after blow after blow.
All right, guys, that was it. Tell me what you think of this video. I reacted to a Tupac song recently, and some people got a little mad at me because I didn't just praise him as a rap god, and I actually just broke down a song more of the meaning of the song and how I thought that song might have had added to that sort of influence of romanticization of gangster life and hood culture and its sort of toxicity, and people got kind of upset with me. And I understood the point of the song. I understood it was a love letter to his mom. I understood that he is a great rapper. I understood that he's a pioneer and a poet and all that stuff. Great, but that wasn't the point of that I was making. The stuff that he was sort of praising in a song, in a way, saying like, yeah, I sold drugs, but I had to do what I had to do, and my mom was a crack fiend, but she was still a queen. All these things, it was like, it felt romanticization of things that we really shouldn't promote, and I feel like that sort of led into that sort of culture that we're trying to sort of fight out of now. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think of this video. Do you believe them? Do you think it's just propaganda? Do you give a fuck? Do you give a fuck? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, you can donate. PayPal me link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is you can either join my brand new membership program or my brand new Patreon. Different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle and I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.